Greetings, YouTube. Allowing you to lease back at you from right here at the Green Thumb Garden Channel, right here in Grow Zone 8B in Tifton, Georgia. In today's video, YouTube, we thought we'd bring you guys along with us as we conducted a harvest from both our front yard garden extended grow area and our backyard food forest. Today is Friday, YouTube, and we thought what better way to end this week than with a harvest video. We're gonna start this harvest video off by harvesting both some volunteer rosemary that we have here in this 3-gallon container, completely choking out our polyembryonic seed-grown mango tree here. We're going to remove all of this rosemary from this plant today, YouTube, from this pot today here, YouTube. We have some rosemary that we actually planted, YouTube, here in this 1-gallon container, and as you guys can see, it is indeed due to be harvested today, YouTube. We also have some more rosemary here in this 3-gallon container, YouTube. We're going to be harvesting this rosemary here today as well, YouTube. We're going to harvest this rosemary, lay it out on our table here, YouTube, and then we're going to be harvesting several other things from our front yard garden extended grow area and also from our food forest. And we'll take all of those things, lay them out here on this table, and show you the totality of this week's harvest from right here at the Green Thumb Gardening Channel. Hang tight, YouTube. All right, YouTube, we're back. We're going to start with this container of rosemary, YouTube. And since this rosemary is actually completely choking out our polyembryonic keat mango trees here in this container, we're going to completely remove this rosemary from this container, YouTube. And we have so much rosemary due to the fact that last year we made the mistake of letting our rosemary go to seed. The wind blew these seeds all across our front yard. We don't even know how we got rosemary on the side of our house and in our backyard food forest, but we have rosemary everywhere, YouTube. Everywhere. We're going to try to eradicate that problem this year by harvesting our rosemary before these seeds begin to drop, and show you guys what that looks like right now, YouTube. I'm going to take my handy, trusty Scuttles garden shears here. I'm going to go down to the very bottom of this rosemary plant here, YouTube, and whack it off at the root. I'm going to completely remove that from this container. Lay it out here. You guys see that? That is a lot of rosemary, YouTube, from just one plant. I think we had like 4 or 5 plants that actually grew in this container here, YouTube. We're going to remove all of those plants before we actually pot our polyembryonic mango trees that you see here growing in this 3-gallon container. As you guys can see, rosemary, would, just like mint, will take over the entire world if you allow it to, YouTube. Yeah, we couldn't let that happen here with our keat mango tree. This pot's already looking a lot better just having all of that rosemary removed from it, YouTube. Don't they look better already? I'm gonna set this container to the side. I'm gonna try my best, YouTube, not to stretch this video out past the 12-minute mark. So we're gonna go ahead and harvest the rest of this rosemary, get it laid out on this table over here with this first pile here, show you guys what it looks like when we're done. Hang tight. All right, YouTube, we're back, and as the result of our harvest, YouTube, we have this huge pile of rosemary here, YouTube, and our plants. Took our plants off at about halfway, YouTube, so we will be out here harvesting more rosemary as the season progresses. I'm gonna pause this video right now, take you guys around to our backyard garden extended grow area around to Queen Annie's place and the Bermuda Triangle, where we're gonna be harvesting a few cherry tomatoes. Then I'm gonna take you guys over from there down to the flat, where today, YouTube, today, we will indeed be harvesting our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn. Hang tight. All right, YouTube, here we are at Queen Annie's place, where we're going to be taking a couple of our cherry tomatoes off of our hybrid cherry, off of our propagated cherry tomato plants, YouTube. And as you guys can see, our plants are indeed loaded out here, YouTube. Let's give you guys a quick walk around before we pop these 2 cherry tomatoes off of this one plant over here, YouTube. This is again Queen Annie's place, where we have our propagated cherry tomato plants growing back here. I'm gonna get in here and pop this one off up in here, YouTube. That's not completely fully ripe, but we harvest our tomatoes at about this point to keep the birds from coming out here and eating our tomatoes before we get to eat our tomatoes, YouTube. We'll ripen this one on the counter here for a day or so, and it'll be ready to consume, YouTube. But another one around in here somewhere, down in there. We're gonna go ahead and remove that one too before the birds get to it. Drop that down in there. I'll walk you guys over here to the Bermuda Triangle YouTube, where we're currently growing green bell peppers, yellow sweet banana peppers, and also another cherry tomato plant back there in the back, and our indeterminate tomato plant here in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this one off up here, YouTube. So the birds actually looking at this one earlier. Go ahead and pop that guy off. Pop this one off as well. Here, YouTube. Show you guys what they look like. Get those in our container over here. And now, YouTube, I'm gonna walk you guys down to the flat back here. Show you guys what's going on with our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn, and show you guys why indeed we will be out here today harvesting this corn, YouTube. Take a look at the ears of corn on our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn plants back here at the flat in our backyard food forest, YouTube. If you ever grown corn before, you probably already know this. If it's your first time growing corn, YouTube, and you're wondering when the perfect time to harvest your corn is, YouTube, for most varieties of corn, the perfect time to harvest your corn, YouTube, is when the 21 days after the silk first appears on your plants, YouTube. You guys all know the actual silk precedes the ear of corn itself. The silk pops out down around there. 21 days after that silk pops out down around there, YouTube, this actual ear of corn will develop very rapidly, YouTube, and the key is to keep your corn watered during the actual fruiting stage when it's actually producing corn, YouTube. It's been about 23 days since we saw the first silk appear on these corn stalks back here, YouTube. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the ears of corn back here, our initial ears of corn. A lot of our plants back here have more than one ear of corn currently developing on them, YouTube, and we'll remove these mature ears of corn here today, show you what they look like, YouTube, and show you what our plants look like after we get our corn removed from back here. Hang tight, we're gonna get our tripod set up and show you guys how we go about doing this right now, YouTube. All right, YouTube, we're back right quick. Another way you can tell whether or not your corn is ready to harvest, YouTube, is you can simply molest your corn, YouTube. And what I mean when I say molest your corn is simply to feel along the cob of your corn, and if you feel fully formed kernels, you know that your corn is ready. But not only that, YouTube, you want to test to see where the cob of your corn actually ends at. This is where the cob on this stalk ear of corn actually ends at, right here, YouTube. And we have kernels from here all the way down to there, YouTube. Now, another way you can also tell when your corn is ready to harvest, YouTube, is you can simply peel this husk back, YouTube, on an ear of corn, and you can simply pierce those kernels with your thumb. If the liquid that comes out of that kernel is a clear substance, your corn is not ready. If the liquid that comes out is a milky substance, your corn is actually ready. You guys can see we have a milky substance exuding from our corn here, so our corn is actually ready, YouTube. We're gonna go ahead and get it harvested right now. Hang tight. All right, YouTube, this is our first ear of corn that we're actually gonna harvest here today. We're gonna do this, YouTube, simply by grasping our stalk itself to keep from actually breaking the stalk when we remove this ear of corn. We're gonna grab our ear of corn firmly and simply pull it down, just like that, YouTube. That's all we're gonna do to remove our ear of corn from our stalks, YouTube. This is our first ear of corn from our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn that we're growing back here at the flat at our backyard food forest, YouTube. I'll hop over to this next one over here, YouTube, and do that same thing. Got one down here at the bottom down here. Go ahead and reach out in here and grab that one. And get it off of this stalk. And grasp that stalk firmly. Pull it down and twist. And this is our second ear of corn from our corn harvest back here at the flat. This camera aimed over in here somewhere. This is our next ear of corn. And do that same thing here, YouTube, and get this ear over here harvested for you guys. Grasp that stalk firmly, push down, and twist. Our third ear, YouTube. We're super excited to be bringing you guys along with us today as we harvest our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn. We'll move our camera over to our next ear of corn, our next couple of stalks of corn over here, YouTube. Give you guys a better angle on what we're doing over here. And go ahead and harvest this one right here, YouTube. Do that same thing. Twist Also do that same thing with this ear over here, YouTube. Scratch that stalk, pull it down, twist. And these are our fourth, and fifth ears of corn from back here at the flat, YouTube. When we go to the other side, YouTube, do the same thing, and we'll bring you guys right back. All right, YouTube, we're back. We've concluded our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn harvest, and at this point, we're going to bring you guys along with us as we harvest some pineapple sage. That's right, YouTube, our pineapple sage that we harvested roughly 1 month ago is due to be harvested again. We're going to bring you guys along with us for a quick harvest here on about 5 or 6 of our pineapple sage plants here at the Green Thumb Garden Channel. Take a look at this, YouTube. We have one plant here beside our front porch, YouTube. That guy is about almost 2 feet tall again, and it's spread out to about the 2 foot mark here, YouTube. We'll be harvesting that pineapple sage here today. We have our 2 pineapple sage plants here at the ledge, YouTube. They're going to be harvesting today, and they are indeed in blossom. We'll be harvesting that pineapple sage here today, also, YouTube. We'll be harvesting this pineapple sage here. We're going to be harvesting this pineapple sage here at Queen Annie's place. This pineapple sage, and also this pineapple sage, YouTube. We're gonna do that right now, and we'll bring you guys back and show you the totality of our pineapple sage harvest as well. Hang tight. All right, YouTube, we're back. We've taken a moment to arrange this week's entire harvest from our food forest and our front yard garden extended grow area out on our table here, and show you guys the entirety of what we harvested this year from both our front yard garden extended grow area and our backyard food forest. Take a look at this, YouTube. Bam! Can you guys see that, YouTube? We have our rosemary that we just harvested, YouTube. We didn't bring you guys along as we harvested this red Swiss chard, but this is our red Swiss chard that we harvested from our backyard food forest. This is our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn that we brought you guys along with as we harvested. These are all of the cherry tomatoes that we harvested this week, along with a few cucumbers that we harvested from our backyard food forest, YouTube. And this is our pineapple sage, YouTube. We just harvested this pineapple sage from our backyard food forest as well, YouTube. And this, again, YouTube, is the entirety of this week's harvest from right here at the Green Thumb Garden Channel. Thanks for watching. All right, YouTube, just a quick peek at our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn as I husk it out here, YouTube, and it does indeed look fantastic. Yes, indeed, YouTube, our yellow and white hybrid sweet corn that we grew in our backyard food forest at the flat.